I want to explore gas laws with a few demonstrations rather than just talk through them, because otherwise they're kind of boring. But when we actually see them and observe them, it makes a lot more sense. So I'm just going to show a few demonstrations, and they're going to be clips of videos that follow this video, and then we'll talk about them again after those clips. But this is kind of the what I would like you to think about. So if you want to take a look at this before you watch these videos, you can kind of make some predictions. We're going to look at varying a few things. First, we're going to look at the relationship between pressure and volume. We're going to do this with a large syringe with a balloon of gas inside of it. And the idea is we'll be able to increase the pressure inside the syringe or decrease the pressure inside the syringe by changing the volume. And so we'll be able to see the volume of a gas inside a balloon react to the change in pressure inside the syringe. And so we're going to try to develop a relationship between pressure and volume by observing what happens to this balloon in a syringe. Next, we're going to look at an egg in a flask. In this case, we're going to hold the volume constant and the number of moles of gas constant inside the flask. And by cooling the temperature and increasing the temperature, we're going to see the effect on the pressure the gas inside the flask applies to the containers of its wall. And one of those wall containers is going to be the actual surface of the egg. And so we'll be able to see the effect of it. We'll be able to observe increasing and decreasing pressure by the effect on the egg's position in the flask. Then we're going to look at the moles of a gas. And we're going to see what happens when we increase the moles of a gas. So that means produce it. So the easiest way to demonstrate this is to blow up a balloon, right? Like I put moles of gas into a balloon and it expanded its volume. But what we're going to do, we're going to create those moles of a gas through a chemical reaction that'll generate carbon dioxide. And we'll see what happens to volume. And then when we have our pressure constant, so atmospheric pressure, and then we'll hold the volume constant by having a rigid container with a cap, and we'll see what happens, and we'll see the pressure if it changes when we hold our volume constant as we increase the carbon dioxide inside it. So keep this in mind. What we're looking for is when we make a change to a variable, physical property of a gas, what happens to another physical property of the gas? And we'll go watch the demonstrations, and then we'll come back and we'll look at the results of these.